I was just having some thoughts the other day, and some of the questions that I ask myself every now and then are these. Using the total crypto market cap and the Bitcoin market caps, what is the likely market cap high in the next cycle? We've sort of touched on this before, but I just wanted to look at this properly again. So looking at the total market cap, you get something like this. So let's look at, we're in the log chart. If we just go on the weekly and zoom out. So this is total crypto market cap, okay? It's done pretty well. It's on a parabola of some, or it's on a, well, it was exponential growth. Obviously, it's now leading it or fading out a bit, but it's still pretty good. And this looks very similar to the Bitcoin market cap. So I've already talked about how Bitcoin market cap should be between 2 trillion to 5 trillion realistically by December 2025. And the total market cap has a very similar pattern, right? So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, you know, by 1st of December 2025, what is it likely to be? And I've come up with this big circle. Now it looks, you know, it's a bit of a cop out. That's my excuse I'm giving you right now. It's a bit of a cop out because I'm basically saying it's going to be anywhere from 4.5 trillion to, let's say, 12 trillion, depending if we have a bit of a blow off top. Now, what we know is that there are diminishing returns in crypto. So the blow off top percent, you know, size is dropping quite a lot. So if you were to, I mean, these are very rough figures, but if you go from, you know, that level to up here, obviously this is just a random sort of curve that I've drawn in, but you sort of get the point. So from that line here to that high, we're looking at 900% growth. From that line to this high, you're looking at a, you know, a 195% growth. And so, you know, is there going to be much of a high, you know, at this point here, at that high, you know, I don't think we're going to get another 195% sort of bonus on top of this line. So what if it's, you know, only 50% high, which, you know, it's still above the line, but, you know, that's giving us sort of a 10 trillion. But I've got a feeling we're not going to get much uplift from this. So probably, you know, 8 trillion maybe. Everyone will probably look at the $10 trillion level and then crypto go, ha, I'll see your 10 trillion. I'll just get you to 8.7 or something, some random number. So that's my little cop out there. So the next question is, yeah, what market share did Cardano have pre and post cycle in 2018 and 20, you know, these two cycles? Because, and the reason I'm thinking of Cardano is because it launched as a smart contract platform and it went from 0 to $3 billion market cap with 0 smart contracts. 0. Basically spent all of its life without smart contracts and did crazy growth with no smart contracts. And Casper is a lot better than Cardano in almost every way. Okay, so one, I don't think there's any point in having any Cardano because it's just completely obsolete in terms of tech, in terms of like almost everything. So, but I know a lot of people love it. So remember, it went from, sorry, not 3, it went from like 700 million, or no, actually 0 market cap to $30.5 billion market cap with 0 smart contracts. It then went from, you know, roughly $1 billion market cap to $95 billion market cap, again with no smart contracts. Or, you know, smart contracts was tentatively launched somewhere around sort of 2021, something like that. But even now, it doesn't have much of an ecosystem. So when we're looking at this, you know, it was hovering around $700 million market cap and 0.32% of the total crypto market share. So I've done that calculation based on looking at this chart. So just look at the dates, and so I've just done the maths for us there just to speed up time. So in bear market, pretty low, and look at these two. So this bear market, 0.32% market share, and this one basically spent all of its time from sort of bear market into the next DeFi summer, again 0.52. But then when it got going during the bull markets, obviously we know Bitcoin loses market share to alts, happens every time, and it went to 4.04% market share, and then 3.12. And this is because there was just so many more cryptos that were launching, so of course it had a lower percentage share. But it's pretty incredible, to be fair. So this then led me to, going back to these questions, what's the likely CAS market share in the next cycle? And, some price levels to look at. Now, the answer, by the way, is a massive cop-out, right? For me, this is just an intellectual exercise, just out of pure curiosity. So I figured that if I found this curious, you guys and girls will probably find it curious as well. So this is what it is crazy. So the circulating supply of Casper in December 2025 will be around 26.78 billion in circulation, right? So the total crypto market cap, when we're looking at this, so low 4.5 trillion, high, so I'm just going to edit that now. Let's call it 12 trillion. That's, I guess, the range, right? So I've put that, that range. Where is this? I just want to just neaten things up a bit. So I've basically gone from the lowest to the highest. So if we're really pessimistic and saying, Casper is only going to be 0.25% of the whole crypto market, well then 0.25% of the lowest crypto market cap here at the height, well, it still gives us 42 cents. That's still pretty incredible, right? So ignore everything else. If you're looking at the most pessimistic market share and the most pessimistic market cap and the pessimistic market share, we're still looking at 42 cents. So we're sat here right now, what is it? 0.42 divided by 0.0. What is the price of CAS? I should know this off the top of my head. It's about 0.46, isn't it? 0.46. 0.46. We're still looking at a 9x. So if you wanted to be, super, 9x is higher than Bitcoin's going to get us in over a 2-year period, right? Because it's basically almost 2 years from now. So you could just sit thumb and bum, mind in neutral, and just sit on your CAS for the next 2 years and expect at least a 9x. Not a bad risk to reward ratio, or even a risk to return. So yeah, risk to reward ratio. And then obviously you're going to get a whole bunch of numbers. From that's the lowest, that's the highest, $44, which I think is a bit high. but I think if we were to just take the lowest market cap and then looked at, these sorts of levels, then I guess mind you, Bitcoin's gone up 26 million% since it launched, and every single time someone's already gone, oh, Bitcoin's already gone up 1,000,000%, it's going to come back down, and then it's gone up another 1,000,000% and then so I wouldn't worry too much about that. This is why I think it's more important to look at the total crypto market cap and the percentage chunk that a project will gain from that, because people just won't get their heads around how fast stuff grows in crypto. Bitcoin throughout its whole life has had people basically shitting on it, going, oh, it's gone up X%, it's going to come down. So when we do these calcs, so let's just use 4.5 trillion. What is that? 45 billion, 4.5 trillion, and then you just times it by, let's say, 2.5%. So it's $112.5 billion market cap. You then divide that by 26.78 billion. That's 600, one more zero, 26.78 billion. That still gives us $4.2. I mean, that's still pretty incredible in my personal opinion, obviously. Sorry, my brain has completely forgotten the number I just came up with. $4.20. So, whoopsie, I don't want an arrow. I'd like a pen, please. What is going on? I'm selecting red and I'm getting black arrows. No arrow, please. Honestly, I said tech hates me, and I swear it genuinely does. I can't pick anything at the moment without it being. That'll do, pick then. Cool. So $4.20. Let's try that. And I think there's really no point in doing all the rest of the calculations because it just becomes obscene. But I think that's not a bad initial target, really. A low percentage market share, so lower than Cardano had in its peak heyday, and a really low crypto market cap. So the next question is, with that in mind, I would highly recommend, regardless of your thoughts of Casper, of just having a chunk, just in case I'm right. What is it, $4.20? You divide that by the price of it right now, that's a 91x. 91x. So, $5,000 into Casper right now, just in case Siam is right. $5,000 times 91. You're looking at £500,000 almost. And I know the newer people here are thinking this is just absurd, Siam. I've seen this. I've lived through 91x's in many coins since 2017, 2022. It happens. This is just what crypto does. And we're still very early to the case. You go out on the streets and ask 100 people, do you own any crypto? I think you'll probably get 5 people that say they do. And the 5 people that say they do, they've probably just bought it on Revolut or on Coinbase and they've just left it on Coinbase. I doubt you'll find any proper crypto investors just asking 100 random people on the street, do they have a Trezor? Do they cold store stuff? We're still very early to the day, to stuff. And I've been putting a few provocative Twitter posts out recently, and one of them is this. So I had 2 scenarios. So the first scenario is this, where I said, it's 1st of December, everything's gone great. The cycles have worked out, Casper's worked out, blah blah blah. What are your thoughts, etc. And then the negative one, so the second part to this, which is this Bitcoin, and I want to focus more on the negative side because, let's say everyone's wrong. The cycle didn't work. Cas didn't, fizzled out just like Tron did, or just like many others did. S&P 500, just crashed with everything else. BlackRock forked Bitcoin because they own so much of it. And by the way, this is a real threat. I'm every day I ask myself, what are the threats that you're not anticipating, or what everyone else isn't anticipating? I think BlackRock is probably the biggest threat. Everyone's looking at this spot ETFs thinking this is a great thing, and I am also. I think it is positive, but just read this bit. Not only that, because BlackRock and Vanguard own so much of the Bitcoin infrastructure, they were able to force through a hard fork on BTC. So just like you have ETC and ETH, this new forked Bitcoin is the Bitcoin that all the banks are using for the spot ETFs. They can now control this indefinitely. If you were BlackRock, wouldn't you think, isn't this the best outcome for you as BlackRock? Most likely, yeah. But I think if they do this, I don't think they'll win. I think it would end up like the same fate as Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash is a load of bollocks. So someone tried to do an aggressive, hostile takeover of Bitcoin Cash. And what happened to it? Whoops. It's done bugger all. And then if you're just, we all know what the Bitcoin chart looks like, but just for the same sort of scale, this is what Bitcoin does. So I think it'll be, I think ETC and ETH is probably the wrong comparison. I think Bitcoin versus BCH, Bitcoin Cash, is a better comparison. But that's going to, either way, it's going to, so what was it? My mind's gone blank. Yeah, I think it's Bitcoin will win, even if that happens. But still, what's your plan B? But I just come back to the next thing, which is, no one is in crypto. No, like the masses are still not in. And just like people, just like the banks will just pile in on an asset when they're eventually allowed, I don't think they will care whether it's 100 grand or 300 grand. It's not their money. They'll want in. Just like I mentioned was it the Cuddle or somewhere else where I said that that script from Michael Burry, once they got in on the trade, they accepted any price. And I think that's probably more likely. Right.
Do you mind if I just add a bit of context?
Yeah, please go for it, mate.
And most people probably think I'm going to come in from a negative spin, but I'm actually not. So let's sit down for this. Just going on to your, Casper market cap and where it can go. So at the moment, we've got a $1 trillion market cap. And Casper's sitting around about $1 billion. So it's a 1%, isn't it? No, 0.1%. No,
it's less than that. But yeah, carry on. It's close enough.
And so we've got, I'm just trying to see like how far up coin market cap, what coins at the moment are at 1% of market cap, what are at 2.5% of market cap. And when you talk about it, actually, there's some coins in there that you think, really? Like Ton, T-O-N, Tone Coin. That's got a $7.5 billion market cap, sits at number 12. Things like Polygon, Matic, okay, yeah, they got it. Dogecoin's up there at 8.6. So we're only talking about an asset that's at ranked 44 at the moment. So to actually climb another 30 places is not unheard of in a bull run. So whilst, you could, I know you did the example with Cardano, you could put in any token you wanted and run the different numbers. But just to sort of say, it actually moves from 44 to, which is, like I say, less than 1% of market cap at the moment. But to get that push up to 2.5% is not actually that implausible. And I was someone that was quite fortunate with Cardano. I got in at like 4 cents and rode it up to $3. So I experienced that one firsthand. And it can happen. It's crazy when it does happen. So I completely agree, in terms of having a little bag, even if you're not a big fan of it. And people know I'm a fan of it. I'm just not as committed as a lot of people in RT. I will have a bag of it because fuck it. If it goes right, I don't want to be the one guy in RT that was sat on the sidelines. And if it goes wrong, it's crypto, isn't it? So, but it's true that those things can actually make it. And it may, you could say that about any token, whether it's number 200 at the moment. I guarantee you there's a token that's in 1,000th position right now that no one's ever heard of, which will be a top 50, maybe top 20 coin in the next bull run because they move, they will move. And you could say the numbers stack against you because there's 25,000 cryptos at the moment. So what makes it the 1 we're looking at? But at the same time, if it does have a fan base, if it does have the supporters, if it does have, fundamentals driving things along, these are going to certainly help it. So, I don't think a move from just under 1% to 2.5% and a move of 20 places in the coin market cap chart is that improbable.
I completely agree. And this is why I've put this is a low, what was the word? I can't talk today. I don't know what's going on. This is a low estimation. 2.5% of the whole crypto market is nothing. And just to add on to what Harry was saying, we have a stupid dog-faced coin, Shiba Inu, right? Which basically is just riding on the coattails of Doge. Right now, Shiba has a 0.38% market cap, a percentage of the whole market cap. Whereas right now, Casper is only 0.08%. It's just ridiculous. So, let's just aim to just take out this stupid dog coin first, which I think it will do. I mean, it's just crazy. Even if you're looking at, let's say price grows even a little bit to say 1.5 trillion. And I think it'll get over 1.5 trillion with just a little pump of Bitcoin to, if Bitcoin pumps up to sort of 35K over, a short period of time, we're going to see. In fact, let's just look at this quickly. Probably this is the wrong one. And then go to total. So we've seen 1.225 trillion when Bitcoin did its last little pump. So when it sort of pumps a little bit higher, I mean, $1.5 trillion is not too much to ask for, really. And we're still nowhere near all-time highs. So if we're looking at 1.5 trillion, 15 billion, sorry, 1.5 trillion times just the doggy, stupid Shiba, 0.389. So times 0.00389. You're still looking at a $5.8 billion market cap. And then divide that by, cas.org. Sorry. Actually, I've already got it open on my other screen. So if we say that's going to happen over the next, by the halving, let's say, that then you're looking at, what is it, 23 billion. So just divide that by 23 billion. 23 billion. We're looking at 25 cents. So 25-cent Casper, in a relatively short period of time with only 0.38% of the market is, yeah. So it just goes back to show, like, 25 cents from now, divide that by where we are now, 4.6. It's still a 5.4x from where we have now. So I think, yeah, just like Harry said, just have some.